All right, everybody. Welcome to the 2019 U.S. Open Watch Party powered by Cisco WebEx. My name is Joe Buck. Theoretically, I broadcast golf for the USGA and Fox Sports. I got to sit in the best seat in the house and watch our guest win the 2019 U.S. Open, Gary Woodland. Gary, first of all, it's good to see you, man. How are you getting along? How's the family? How's everybody doing during this whole pandemic and quarantine time?
Joe, great to see you, brother. It was as nice as it could be. Obviously, it was a tough time for everybody in the country, all over the world. But for us, not having an off season, for me able to be home, spend time. I got three kids under three, so it was a battle for us trying to, survive with three kids under three locked up in the house. But it was nice to spend time with them, and then also get some work in. And now we're back golfing now. So it's nice to get back out and see the guys. And never thought I'd miss seeing the guys every week, but I did. I miss seeing the guys, miss competing. So it's nice to be back out there grinding.
Yeah, and you were always kind of more of a team sport guy anyway. So that camaraderie and being in the locker room and seeing guys on the practice tee, whatever, it's got to be good just to get back on the grass. And as I look at you, I feel like I see less of Gary Woodland. Have you lost a bunch of weight?
I have. I slimmed down. I worked hard. Like I said, it was a negative, and you had to turn a negative into a positive. There was a lot of struggling going on. So for me, if I was going to be home for that amount of time, I wanted to attack it, get myself in a in a better position to come out and play well the rest of the year. We have a lot of huge golf tournaments coming up. With the majors moving back to the end of the year, it's going to be a big stretch. So I wanted to get myself in a better mental frame and physical frame to come out and play the best golf I could.
Yeah, was that really something that you wanted to do but just couldn't get to because of the schedule, because of the family, and now you just said, "Hey, let's do it."
No doubt about it. I mean, usually our off season, we're off 2 or 3 weeks after the tour championship before we ramp back up. So when I get off season, it's hey, I grab the wife, we go on vacation, whatever it is, go sit by the beach. Now I was at home for 12 to 13 weeks. So I got in the gym every day, attacked. My 3-year-old son, I always say, eats healthier than I do. So I attacked the diet a little bit, got in a little better shape, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to come out and play a lot of great golf here at the end of the year and finish strong like we want to.
I know body mass is a big deal and you generate a ton of power, but do you feel in some ways even more powerful, lighter as you are now than let's say last year as we're about to dig into the US Open?
Yeah, I did it the right way. I sat down with my trainers, with my PT, and we attacked my weaknesses in my body. So I got stronger in my positions that will help me in my golf swing. I wasn't making a swing change. The swing is the same, but I wanted to get stronger in that swing to make it more consistent. I'm down over 25 pounds. So we're out there walking 6, 7 miles a day. I'm definitely obviously feel better walking down all that weight. So it was more to strengthen my golf swing, to feel better about myself, and try to get a little mental edge out there. And I think it's going to pay off.
Well, we're going to dive into the video. We're going to pick it up in the second round on number 8. Now, you're okay watching a thicker, heavier Gary Woodland, right? We're good with it.
I'm in all black right now, so that's all right. This was a huge putt for me. I just took the lead on 6 after making birdie, and I got out of position there on 8. Obviously, one of the best holes on the golf course. You don't want to give one back. That's one you're not expecting to make, but when it goes in, it was a huge confidence boost, and set me up here for the ninth hole.
Yeah, and here we are at 9, this par 4, and this for birdie.
Yeah, I drove it, hit a perfect drive off the tee right into a divot in the fairway. I was just trying to get it on the front of the green when it came out, and this was a bonus. This is a long putt. You have the lead. You're trying to knock it up there close, get done, and get ready for the weekend. And for that putt to go in, just capped off a perfect day there on Friday.
So that's Friday, and now we pick up the action as we see you smile and grab your golf ball and salute the fans. We'll pick it up now in the third round at the 12th, the par 3, playing 209 yards that day. Coming off a birdie on 11. Now you're 11 under. and you're leading Justin Rose by 3 and Koepka by 4. You're aware of all this jockeying behind you, or are you just focused on what you're doing?
At this point, especially on Saturday, I was in my zone and I was playing great. And the wind kind of gusted on us a little bit here. I actually flagged the shot from the 5-iron from the tee, did the old club twirl trying to pose on it, and it just came up in a horrible spot. I was just trying to get it on the green, just chip it over here to the right, make 4 and move on. And I shanked it. I did know my caddy was trying to help me how to hit it. I was asking him which club to use. It was just in a horrible spot. You can see me chuckling there. I honestly didn't know how to hit that shot. I ended up shanking it. And from here,
Justin, by the way, Justin's in close here. This could have been a
tight.
2-shot.
Huge deal. And from here, I'm just trying to make 4. If he makes birdie, we were tied for the lead. We move on. And the chip came off perfect. And, that's one of those big deals where you kind of just get that feeling that it's your week. When you chip in like that, when you save all the momentum and keep rolling, that was pretty good.
So you save par there. Now we're going to 14 next, the par 5. You're still at 11 under. This is another one of those holes that you could look back on and go, man, if I don't save par here. But just talk us through this 14.
Yeah, I foot slipped off the tee box. I got in trouble, laid up into more trouble. I got it up here just short of the green. I actually chunked my chip. I got fortunate that the ball stayed up, that it didn't come back down off the green. And Rosie was in there again close for birdie. I'm trying to lag it up. I'm trying to make 6. You have all the momentum. You don't want to make a big number. You can make birdie. You have 18, another par 5. So you're trying to lag it up there close. And this thing from 15 feet out looked like it couldn't miss. That one made me laugh. That one put a chuckle on my face, and definitely gave me a lot of confidence to finish that round on top.
All right, so I know that they want to roll right into the final round, but I just, if you could just indulge us just for a second before we get to the final round here, and we can just pause the video. When you're a competitive guy, you're a hell of a player, you're a well-liked guy on tour, you're sitting in a position that you dream of. You're at Pebble Beach. You're going into the final day, the final round. What is that night before Sunday like for you? Were you able to rest? What was going through your head?
It was one of those deals where I got in contention. I took the lead on Friday, and Thursday I played well. I did a little bit of media. Friday I took the lead, played great. Media was great. It was a lot of positive questions. You're leading the U.S. Open. Saturday I went out and I battled. I grind. I played solid. Definitely could have scored a little bit better, but I still have the lead going into Sunday. I get done. We didn't play till 3 o'clock, so it was after 7. By the time I got done with media, it was almost 9 o'clock, and I'm sitting there in the media, and every question was, I was 0 for 7 with the lead, with the 54-hole lead. It was a very negative media session, and to be honest with you, it kind of pissed me off. Let's just put it that way, lack for a better word. And I was angry. I went and got my body work. I got back to the hotel after 10 o'clock, ordered room service, and I sat there and I was angry. And I kept telling myself, I've learned from those experiences. I understand it. But who's to tell me that the 8th time isn't the right time? And I told myself that night that it's my time. And I woke up Sunday morning and I believed it. And I came out and fired on all cylinders and really took off. But I slept so well, I think, because I was so tired. It was a long day. You play late. You have media. You have, I got worked. I didn't eat till after 10:30. So it was easy to sleep. But, the fortunate thing, too, when you play majors like this, they have coverage so early in the day. So I was able to get up in the morning, watch some coverage, see where how the ball was moving, how guys were attacking certain holes, which I think is an advantage early in the day to see how things were going. So I watched a little golf in the morning and showed up at the golf course, focused on myself and ready to go on Sunday.
And last question before we roll the video. I think a lot of amateurs will know what I'm talking about when I say this, even in the silly things that I play in the game of golf, a club championship or whatever it might be. You always have to kind of turn that negative voice off in your head. At your level, when you're staring at 18 holes in front of you to win a United States Open, is that voice in there at all? Like, can I do this? Am I going to do this? Or is it just full on, full bore? Here we go. I can't wait to step onto the tee on one.
I think I'd be lying if I said it wasn't in there, but it's one of those deals where I've learned through the being 0 for 7 with the lead, you have to embrace it. You know, being uncomfortable is a real thing. When you're leading a major championship, especially on Sunday when you've never done it, it's an uncomfortable situation. You have to learn to be comfortable in that. You have to learn to enjoy the stress, enjoy everything you have, and rely on the work you've done. I've worked my butt off to get to where I am. I've worked my butt off to put myself in that position. I've hit all the shots. I know how to do it. It's a matter of now just going out and staying within myself, relying on my routine and executing. And you know, fortunately, I had my guy next to me. My caddy has been in this situation. He won a major championship earlier with Mike Weir. So he's been in that situation, which is nice to have him there with me. You know, somebody you can trust and somebody I definitely relied on there on Sunday at Pebble Beach.
I wanted to talk to you about Brennan, and maybe we can save it for after the fact. But you got the right kind of guy on your bag. I've known Brennan a little bit. I talked to him
Yeah.
after you were finished on that Sunday, but he is. I would imagine of all the people you could choose, he's a guy that he's a hockey guy. He's kind
Yeah.
of got that grinder mentality. He seems like the perfect fit for you.
He's a sports fanatic, which for me can take my mind off everything because we can talk about on any other sport other than golf. It's amazing, but on that he works his butt off, which is huge. What you're getting with him. You know, if I'm 10 under or 10 over, his attitude's the same. He's an extremely positive guy. But the biggest thing with him is he trusts what he's doing, and he's not afraid to tell me, you know, no or yes on something. And I rely on him heavily. You know, I always say he does the work. I just hit the shots. So it's a great relationship for that. It's a lot of communication back and forth, but it's a lot of trust, and that's why we were able to be successful.
We're going to pick up the final round coverage now, and here you are at the par four open hole on Father's Day.
Those who know this guy love him, and not just in the world of golf. All different.
This was special. A lot of deep breaths. Get the ball in fairway and let's go. But you know, like I said, you teed off so late. It was one of those deals where you're just excited. You're just ready to go. You're ready to go. And so this was a big relief to get this shot off and get to work there on Sunday.
So, yeah, that's a great way to start. Obviously, you had a look at birdie. You left your birdie putt just short on one. I remember Azinger saying, that's a nervy start for Gary. I mean, everybody's always looking for a crack.
For sure.
You know, here we go. But did you feel was it nervy for you?
I didn't feel too nervy as much as I'd had a tendency on Sunday to leave putts short. So when you leave the first one short, it makes you like, is it going to be another one of those days? But number two for me, I think, is one of the hardest holes out there. I stepped up the next hole, and Rosie birdied one, so I'd lost my lead. But I drive it in the middle of the fairway. One of the best swings I made all week with a 7-iron in there to 10 feet. And this putt changed everything for me. This one, I would say, is the biggest putt I made all week because I didn't leave it short. I hit it right in the center of the hole. It gave me confidence that no matter what, I have it today. And I got on a little run, which was nice. That was a huge putt for me there on the second hole there.
Yeah, that gets you to 12 under par, and now we go to the par four third, 407 yards, and here's your approach shot from 96.
Yeah, it hit a perfect 3-wood in there, and this is one Butchie's telling me to get it past the hole, and I had a perfect number, 96. I played it 100 and flipped it nicely, got a lot of spin, and knocked it in there close. And I didn't know Brooks was making the charge that he was. I heard a lot of roars, but that birdie there really settled me in because obviously I had a 4-shot lead on Brooks to start the day. Birdie in 2 and 3 really put a lot of pressure on him to keep going. Obviously, it was nice for him to get off to a good start, but I knew in myself if I went out and shot 2 under on Sunday, it was really a battle between Rosie and I because Brooks would have to shoot 6 under to catch us, which he definitely obviously could do. He's playing amazing at this time, but it was one of those where I knew if I could control myself, get off to this start right now, I know I have 2 par 5s ahead of me as well. So I was in a pretty good spot at this time.
I mean, this is just fantastic golf at the second and the third, and now to the par 3 7th as you walk away this iconic hole, 102 yards, and you hit it into the back bunker. Now you have this for par here at 7.
Yeah, and I'd made a lot of par putts. I hadn't. This is the first green I missed on Sunday. I hit a pretty good bunker shot to here, and this is like I said, that putt on number two gave me the confidence. I mean, this ball is dead center. You know, I just felt it. And I was confident with the stroke. I think if I missed that putt on two, I might miss this putt on seven as well. But it was one of those where I just felt good about myself. I felt good about what I was doing. I was seeing the lines perfectly, and it was nice to keep that momentum going there.
Now, here we are at the par 5 14th, but you had bogeyed 9 and 12. So the lead is shrinking a bit. Tell us about this 3-wood.
Yeah, I got out of position a little bit there, a couple holes, made a couple bogeys. I had a one-shot lead on 14, hit a perfect drive. And this was the first time probably in my life that I've ever thought about playing conservative. And I talk about having a veteran caddy on the bag that I trust. I just saw Rosie lay up from a similar spot, and there was never a hesitation in Butchie, who I give him a hard time about being conservative sometimes. When we walked up to that shot, he said, it's a 3-wood. Hit it over the green. Hit it over the green. He's like, the wedge shot, he's like, I've seen shots from here earlier. The wedge shot is too hard to get close. And I only had 265. It was getting cooler, so the ball wasn't going as far. But I thought I was telling the ball to sit when I hit this. I smashed it. I was trying to hit it in the camera tower over the green. Butchie told me I could get it up and down from over the green. And it came off perfectly. And then the bonus was when I get up there, it was pin high. It wasn't over the green. It was a little fluffy lie, but it was definitely one that I could chunk out like I did and get it in a position where I could tap in. This was a huge up and down because this separated me another shot from Brooks. This gave me a 2-shot lead where it was putting a lot of pressure on because I could hit little stingers around, you know, coming in the last couple holes. I could easily make pars, but it was going to put a lot of pressure on Brooks to force and make some birdies, and even Rosie, you know, if he could do something really special. So this was a huge birdie for me. The 3-wood was probably the best swing I've ever made in my life. And then obviously to execute the up and down, the short game was on point all week. This was a big deal for me.
So you're able to knock in this birdie here at 14, and is there a bit of affirmation coming for you when you hit that 3-wood the way you hit it? When you say it's a 3-wood you've ever hit in your life, you're at the Sunday of the U.S. Open, and you're able to get that up and down from kind of that fluffy lie. I mean, you got to walk to the next tee like, my God, this is going to happen.
I mean, I walked to the next tee almost feeling like I was going to birdie every hole coming in. That was a huge deal for me to execute under that pressure. And I
here we are at 16 for birdie and coming up a little short. It'd be nice if you could see those two lines out on the green.
I would love to get
as a
that
graphic.
Get that going. This was a nice part for me. I drove it in a divot, middle of fairway, hit a good shot there in the middle of the green, and that's a tough pin. It's a hard putt, and that's where I knew I was feeling good because that's a putt you have to hit really hard. And I was able to get it up there to the tap in, so that was a nice putt there for me.
So you're still 2 ahead after 16. Meanwhile, here's Koepka up at the par 5 18th, and obviously all eyes were on him coming in with the run and majors that he's been on. And here's his second shot at the par 5.
And that had to look so good from the fairway. I've seen that swing. That was an unbelievable shot. He got a little unfortunate where it ended up. He had to be loving that here.
Yeah, I mean this is the drama that we're watching in the booth. And now here you are at 17 at the par 3.
And this was one where first time I probably didn't listen to my caddy. I was feeling so good about myself, like I could do anything. And I like to work the golf ball left to right. My caddy was trying to get me to hit a little hold 4-iron in there, and I'm like, no, I'm going to hit a right to left 5-iron. I completely did not trust it. I came out of it. But the one thing that happened, I hit it over here on the right side of the green. When I hit the shot, Butchie told me, you're going to chip this. You're going to get this up and down. He told me that
so let's hold the video. Let's hold the video here because I think everybody that's watching this, myself included, I've tried to play a lot of golf in my life, but I think any amateurs watching this going, oh my God, this guy is going to chip it off the green with a lead on Sunday at the second to last hole at Pebble Beach. I talked to Brendan. This is what I talked to him about after the day was over. And I said, man, that shot on 17, that was just incredible. I mean, for a second, it looked like it was going in. And Brendan said, that's how Gary learned to chip off greens when you were a kid. And he said, at least with regard to himself, I wasn't worried about Gary at all with this, and clearly you weren't either, because I mean, you damn near made it.
I'd actually got up and down from this side of the green on Thursday. I chipped off the green on Thursday. The pin was over there on the left as well, and I got it up and down. So the big deal for me was in this situation, after I hit the shot over there, when I gave Butchie my 5-iron, he's like, "You're going to chip that. You're going to get it up and down." Same thing you did on Thursday. I walked 200 and however many yards I was walking up there to the green the whole time knowing I was going to chip it. That put me that probably eased the moment for me a little bit when I got up there. It wasn't a decision making for me. I knew I was in that mind frame. I was going to hit this shot. I went through my process, and when I got up there, I was just trying to get it past the hole. The whole deal for here is I knew I had a 1-shot lead. I didn't know what Brooks was doing, but even if he makes birdie, I can still birdie the last hole. So the big deal for me was get it past the hole. If you have to take 4, you just can't leave it short. You can't chunk it. So it was trying just to make solid contact, get it past the hole, and make 4. And it came off perfectly. Right here, I thought it was going in, but it was one of those where, Justin Rose gives me a little fist pound here. We're good friends. We haven't talked much that day. When he comes over and acknowledges the shot, he knew it was something special, and that was pretty cool for him to do.
Oh, that was phenomenal. So, yeah, I hope to God you didn't think don't chunk it like you just said before you took that shot, because that's what I would have done. All right, now up ahead, here's Brooks, who's putting for birdie at 18.
And I could see this putt from where I was. I had no idea what it was for. Fortunately, it was for birdie and not for eagle, especially after that good shot he hit in there. But I could see this going on. I see him miss it. And when I tapped in on 17, there's that scoreboard right there on 17. I looked up and I saw he made par, and I had a 2-shot lead. And from there, it was never a doubt I was going to hit iron off the tee box. And I told Butchie, I said, whatever we do on 18, just give me a wedge for my 3rd shot. And it was a big relief having a 2-shot lead. I mean, that's one, even with a 1-shot lead, I'll probably still hit iron, but it just makes those shots a little more difficult. I knew I could hit a couple stingers around there and get it in there for a 5.
Yeah, you gave the answer to the question I didn't even ask, which was going to be, a 2-shot lead seems a heck of a lot different than a 1-shot lead on 18 at Pebble Beach, but you just said it, iron either way, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like if you got to make par, I mean, like I said, I can hit 3 irons. There's a lot of trouble that can happen. You can obviously hit in the water left. There's out of bounds right. It's one of the best holes in golf, and playing conservative with the lead, knowing being in the last group was an advantage. I knew what I had to do, and it was pretty easy for me to hit 3 irons. Unfortunately, I chunked the 2nd iron when I laid up. I chunked my 2nd shot. I ended up having 8-iron in for my 3rd shot, which I did not want. But you can see here, I saw that he missed his putt, and after I tapped in, I looked at that scoreboard. Unfortunately, I had a 2-shot lead.
So here you are tapping in for par, as good a par as we've seen in a long time, sitting on a lead in the U.S. Open. You show nothing, I mean, and I know that's how you have to be, but do you have to slow yourself down at all getting to this tee shot right now, because you got a 2-shot lead, you got a par 5 sitting in front of you? Is there anything telling you, hey, just keep it cool?
There's a lot of deep rust going on. I've played team sports my whole life where you use adrenaline to your advantage. In golf, for me, it can be a disadvantage, because when I get pumped up, I can hit the golf ball 9 miles. So this was one where I tried to stay within myself. I asked Butchie, give me an iron that I can hit as far right as I want. I'm not going to get into those bunkers. We hit a little chip 4-iron. Obviously keep it away from the water. So you got to play right, play conservative. And I'd hit this shot off the tee box on 16 and 15 coming down the stretch. So this was one I was very comfortable. I'm very comfortable hitting a stinger. And this, it came off perfectly. Now you're just to the next shot. You're not thinking about making 5 right now. I'm telling myself, give myself a wedge, So I'm getting up here. My 2nd shot's a 5-iron. Unfortunately, the ball did go in the first cut. So this is where I actually chunked this. I slid underneath it. But, here, the only thing you can't do is hit it left. So I'm aiming down the right side. If I miss this ball, it's going to for sure be to the right. and it came off just a little heavy, but it's still enough to get to the fairway. And unfortunately, I just didn't give myself the wedge that I wanted. But
Right. But what's this like? I mean, take us into your head a little bit here as you're walking
this,
down the fairway. I mean, Nicklaus is one here, Watson is one here, Tiger's one here, and now Gary Woodland's about to win here. What's that like for Gary Woodland?
at this point, nothing, because I knew I had this shot right here. I could hit this in the water pretty easily, especially with an 8-iron. And I had a lead earlier in the year in Maui, and I thought I'd won a golf tournament with three. I was up 3 shots with 6 holes left, and I lost. Xander Schauffele went off and made birdies and eagles, and I lost. I wasn't going to let that happen again. So from this standpoint, all I was thinking, get this ball in the middle of the green. And once right here, I finally see that the ball's on the green, and I know I have 3 putts to win. This was the first time I took a deep breath, tried to take in the noise a little bit, but I wasn't going to let myself get ahead of myself until this ball was in the hole. Like I said, I made that mistake earlier in the year, which I think benefited me in this moment and throughout this whole day going forward.
Are you aware of fans chanting your name? I mean, I know you acknowledge it a little bit. You're also in the zone at the same time. You're also got that tunnel vision.
Yeah, I was in that next shot moment. And, like I said, you're in that shot, And from here, Rosie told me after the fact, if you knew you were going to make it, he's like, I would have gone first and let the roar get out of the way. But this is one I'm just trying to lag down there. It was nice to have my buddies there after the round. Jordan Spieth even told me after the round, he's like, gosh, you hit that putt too hard. And I'm like, it went in dead center. So I can't argue too much. But this is one, there's not much to it. You have 3 putts to win. You're trying to lag it down there. And you talk about it being your week and being a special moment. From 10 feet out, it looked like it was dead center, and that's where it went in.
Well, I was the one calling it. You took my breath away. I'm thinking you're going to just gag it down there and tap in, and it goes. But I think it says a lot about you. That obviously I'm not around the tour a lot, but anything I've ever heard about Gary Woodland, is how you're loved by your fellow competitors, and that those guys are out there rooting for you. I think that says a lot about where you sit in their hearts and where you sit on that tour. That had to be special to see them outside ringing that green.
It was, and I didn't see them until I walked off. And this is one where you work your whole life to get to a moment. And you've called World Series and Super Bowls. You know what it is when you work so hard to get somewhere. And it all just came out of me there on 18. I don't show a ton of emotion out there on the golf course, but you work your whole life for something. You couldn't pick a better spot to win your first one, and let alone you're at Pebble Beach on Father's Day. To be honest with you, I got more nervous right now than I was all week. I didn't know what to do. You work for this moment. You don't work for what happens afterward. I had no idea what to do. I know I was shaking, signing my scorecard, but a lot of emotion came out there on 18, and that was as special as it gets for me.
And how cool is this? This is the chills moment for me with your parents there.
Yeah, I tell you what, my dad, my rookie year in 2009, my dad had a heart attack while I was playing Pebble Beach. Surgery went bad. He was in the hospital for over a month. Fast forward 10 years later, I'm playing on Father's Day at Pebble Beach, winning with my dad there on the green. I mean, it didn't get any better. It makes me emotional now thinking about it. That was a storybook ending. And after I made that putt and I was standing there, that's all I wanted. I wanted to find my dad. I wanted to hug him. And I was very excited that he was there with me.
I think, and here's poor Justin tapping in after all of the emotion, but the video will end with you hugging your dad. I just was talking to somebody about why this is so special on Father's Day. Was it your dad that introduced you to this great game?
I wouldn't be anywhere where I am without my dad. I started walking on a golf course when I was 11 months old, and I was able to walk. My dad would go play in the evenings, and I'd walk with him. It was just one way for me to hang out with my dad. So right here, all I'm looking for is my dad. There were so many people, so much going on. My mom got to me first. My mom, I am where I am because of my mom, the way my parents raised me. But my dad taught me everything I know about sports and how to compete and how to battle. And this was a moment right here. Obviously, winning's great, but this is a moment that that I'll never forget right here.
It's just beautiful for any father, any son. You beat Tiger by one shot from back in 2000.
I did
Where were
when I
you
made
in
the putt.
2000? Where
When I
were you
made
in
that putt,
2000?
2000, I would have been in college or high school. Sorry, I was a sophomore in high school. Um, when I made that putt, I walked over. Butch was telling me how proud he was, and I said, "Hey, we beat Tiger by one." And I brought that up to Tiger later on. He told me he won by 15, so it was a little bit different. But it's special. Anytime I don't care if I would have shot one under. If I won, that's what it's all about. You're there to battle and to come out on top. Like I said, to win at Pebble Beach, to win my first major, to win the U.S. Open. If you're dreaming to win the U.S. Open as a kid, you're probably doing it at Pebble Beach, and I was able to accomplish that. And something I'll never forget, and hopefully catapults me to win many, many more.
What's it been like this last year to be able to walk into any room and know you're a U.S. Open champion? What's it been like to have that on your resume?
I tell you what, it gives you a lot of confidence, and not only for me but my team. I've surrounded myself with amazing people, but I know that I have the right people around me. I know I'm working the right way, and that you don't always get the results that you want. You can work hard all you want, and you don't always get the results that tell you that you're doing the right things. And when you're able to accomplish that, there's so many more people that come in that help me do this. It's special, and I have to, give them the credit that they're due, and know that we have to continue to work. We have to continue to get better. This was a huge moment for me in my life and my family, but it's just the start, and there's a lot more to go. I feel like the best golf is in front of me. So this is something special, and I'll always look back on. But it's time to learn from this and use this when I get in this situation again to help me win my second.
All right, we're going to get to a handful of questions from USGA members. The first one from Paul M. in New Jersey. What was your first thought walking off the 18th hole Pebble Beach as a U.S. Open champion? When you got off the green, when you were able to catch your breath, what were your first thoughts?
My first thought when I walked off the green was two things, to be honest with you. One was I didn't have another shot. So like I said, I was more nervous when I walked off that green than I was at any time on the golf course, because I didn't know what comes next. You're not really prepared for what's the next step. And second, being there with my father on Father's Day, I wanted my dad. I wanted to hug my dad. Knowing my wife was at home on bed rest, my son was at home. I wanted to hug my dad. I wanted to call my wife. And I wanted to just relax. It was a long night of media that I was not prepared for, but in that moment, it was a huge relief that there was no more shots. But the big deal was I wanted to share that moment with my dad, who definitely helped me get to where I am today.
And by the way, you got a great gift a couple months later with your twin daughters being born too. What a year it's been for you.
We're trying to replicate 2019 again. It was a beautiful year for me, obviously on and off the golf course. Definitely one I'll never forget.
All right, Ty B from New York. What's the key to hitting those beautiful stingers?
I tell you what, growing up, I hit the golf ball 9 miles, way longer than I do today, but I had no idea where it was going. So that was a shot I started way back in college. It was a shot for me to be able to get the golf ball in the fairway. And, I obviously have a lot of power and a lot of strength. Tiger Woods made that shot cool a long time ago. But for me, I put the ball in the back of my stance. I open my stance up, and I just try to trap it. I try to hold the back of my glove at the target as long as I can. And it's a shot that I used a million times last week. I used it at the U.S. Open. When I get in trouble and when I have to hit the golf ball in the fairway, it's a shot I trust. I've probably hit that shot as many shots as I hit in my life. Any different type of shot, I've hit that stinger the most. It's just something I trust and I rely heavily on.
Here's Jeff R. in Massachusetts. How has winning the U.S. Open helped you in your career with confidence, preparation, and understanding what it's like to be in contention on the back nine of a major? So take it forward. Now you've got that in your pocket. You have majors the rest of your career, and you've proven to yourself that you can close.
That's the big deal. Is I've proven that I can close, and so I know when I'm in that situation, when I'm in contention, that I have what it takes. And sometimes, it takes guys a little bit to get to that step, and to rely on that confidence. Especially, it's one thing to do it at one level. When now you're playing against the best players in the world on the biggest stage, I know I'm able to overcome that. I know my game is good enough in any moment. And that's a huge confidence boost from the start on Thursday, showing up that I know I have the game, to Sunday when I need to close. I know I can do it.
All right, two left. How do you stay focused? This from Bob G in Florida. How do you stay focused from shot to shot while you are holding a lead in a tournament? Do you have a specific swing thought?
For me, it's not a swing thought as much as I rely heavily on the routine. I think the routine takes away the results. So you watch both the tour players, you watch them. Everything they do is very similar. For me, it's a huge confidence. It's a huge relax. Helps me relax is when I go through the exact same routine, whether it's Thursday or Sunday. I keep everything the same because for me, if I can execute what I'm doing, the result's going to happen. I can block that out. So for me, especially when you have the lead, it's staying within that routine, trusting the work that you've done, trusting the information that I have on each shot, and believing I can do it. And that sticks to the routine. You don't forget it. You forget about the result and focus on what you're doing right then and there.
Last question from Dan S. in Tennessee. Who has been the most significant influence on your career?
I've had a lot of people, that have had Butch Harmon, Pete Cowan, Phil Kenyon, my agent, Mark Steinberg's helped me get to where I am today. But my father's had the most impact on me. I wouldn't be where I am without him teaching me you have to earn everything you do. Nothing in this world's given to you. And you have to go out and earn it every day. I learned that from my dad at a very young age.
So as we wrap up, let's look ahead to Winged Foot in 2020 in September. Have you been there? Have you played it a lot? What are your thoughts of what is really as good a challenge as there is in the United States?
You go from iconic Pebble Beach to iconic Winged Foot. And that's the beauty of USGA taking you to the best golf courses in the world. Winged Foot is a golf course that can hold the major championship any day of the week, any week of the year. The golf course is amazing. I played it one time with a buddy, Mark DeRosa. Just went out there and played a little golf. But
you played with Mark DeRosa. That's what you're coming in hot with defending your title. Mark DeRosa from Major League Baseball.
Yeah, he's got me dialed in.
That's great.
I think it's a perfect test for me. It's a big boy golf course, one that's a shot maker's. You got to drive the golf ball on the fairway. It relies heavily on your ball striking. I'm excited to get there. Obviously, it'll be a little different. The fan situation, we don't know what's going to happen. You have the best fans in the world there in New York, but I'm excited to get there. I'm excited that the USGA was able to postpone it. It looks like we're going to be able to play in there in September and getting there and defending. Coming in, game will be in full sprint there at the end of the year with golf. So should be coming in all cylinders firing and ready to go.
Well, hey man, it was an honor to call you winning your first major, to do it at Pebble Beach. You're a hell of a guy, a great player, a worthy champion, and have a terrific Father's Day. It'll be a little less hectic than your last Father's Day, I guess, in some regard, but with all those little kids running around, and diaper changing and everything else, enjoy Father's Day, and we'll see you at Winged Foot in September.
I appreciate it, Joe. Always good talking to you, brother. We'll see you soon.
All right, man. Thanks. There he is, your 2019 U.S. Open champion, Gary Woodland.